What's up guys, Douglas from DougsterBob.com here, and today we're going to be talking about 5 of the most common, most popular, and actually the easiest beginner BMX tricks for street riders. So this isn't going to include park tricks, it's going to include some beginner street tricks. I learned a lot of important things about how these tricks work when Nick and I were developing bike school. So I want to share some of those golden nuggets of knowledge with you and hopefully help you learn these tricks a little bit easier. Let's get right into the video. Now, before we even start, I want you to keep in mind that these are not in-depth how-to videos of the tricks because that would just be a stupid long video. Nobody's going to sit down and watch the whole video if we went really in depth like we did in bike school for these videos. It'd just be way too long. So I'm going to run you through the tricks. I'm going to give you some of the golden nuggets of advice and help you understand the concept and then actually understand the trick. Yeah, the first trick, you guessed it, the bunny hop. This not only is the most important beginner street trick, but it really is the most important trick in general. If you can't even bunny hop a teeny tiny bit, you're never going to be able to hop up on handrails, hop up on ledges, hop up stairs. It's going to really limit your ability to progress. So you need to learn the bunny hop if you haven't already. If you haven't, let's go over some tips that are going to help you get it explosive. First, we're going to talk about the concept of it. Now, a lot of people say to pull back and push forward, and that really is not the case. What you're actually going to want to do is compress your body and throw your chest. So compress your body, uncompress your legs, and throw your chest straight up. This is going to send your body in an upwards momentum. Your arms are going to straighten out, lifting up the front end of the bike. And when this happens, it's going to start to pull the back wheel up too. Once it comes off the ground, you're going to suck your knees up and push your arms forward. This is what's going to maximize the hop. There's a lot of small little techniques that you can use to work your way into it. And but that's kind of the general concept. And a lot of people say it wrong. They say pull back and push forward. And while it feels like that, that's not really what's happening. The bunny hop is one of those tricks where timing is so important. You need to suck your legs up and push your arms forward at the perfect time. The only way that you're going to find this perfect time is through lots and lots of practice. The third little thing to help you out with this trick is to set a goal. So if you have anything small you can hop over, once you get that first hop off the ground, find something small and try to hop over that. Find something a little bit taller, hop over that. And then a little bit taller, hop over that. I noticed for me, if I just bunny hop flat, I'm not going to get near as high as I do when I roll at a picnic table and hop up on it. Like having something in front of you really forces you to throw all your effort into it, all your explosive power, and it helps you get up onto or over whatever object you're going for. All right, number 2, the manual. This one is fun and hard. A lot of people try this for so long. They try, and sometimes they give up and sometimes it just clicks. So I promise you, if you don't give up, you will eventually get this trick. This is one of the tricks that takes a lot of practice and a lot of goal setting. So you want to do parking spaces are a really good one. If you set a goal for how many parking spots you want to manual, pull up at the first one and try and get to that number, whether it's 5, whether it's 1, whether it's 1,000. You just need to start at 1 and hold the manual for the whole thing. But let's break down the concept a little bit. This one went really in depth in the course, but it's like, essentially this is how it works, okay? You're throwing your weight forward to get the front wheel up. You're going to throw your hips back behind the wheel. When you initiate the manual, you're throwing your weight back as hard as you can, essentially trying to get yourself to loop out. Once your bike gets to that point of almost looping out, you're throwing your weight back forward. Throwing your weight forward is going to start to drop the front wheel. Now, once your front wheel starts to drop down, you've got to throw your weight backwards to counteract it and get it back up. So that's why you're doing a lot of this motion, moving your hips back and forth, because you're just constantly balancing where that front wheel is. You're keeping yourself from looping out and you're keeping the tire from hitting the ground. There's so many more things that go into it, but that's kind of the general concept. So the best way to start and actually practice this trick is to figure out where you loop out. Pull back as hard as you can, start to loop out, and then say, whoa. That must be my loop out point. And congratulations, you found that. Now spend the rest of your time manualing avoiding that point. So right before you get there, you're throwing your weight back forward to get the front wheel back down. Now don't be too quick on this because there's a tiny delay. So you're throwing it back forward and then get ready to move it back so you can get the front wheel back up. And again, like I said with the manual, set a goal. Try manual 1 parking spot. Then try 2, then 3, then 4. And you're gonna constantly get better the more you practice, but it's not gonna happen overnight. One day you'll figure out that balance point and it'll be like a subconscious thing. There's a lot of things that you do in life where you're like, this is hard, and then all of a sudden you've got it figured out. Manual is one of those things. Just keep practicing on it and try and understand the whole concept of why it works the way that it does. Number 3 is my most hated trick, the X-up ride. There are a lot of half decent street BMX riders making X-up rides look cool. And I never thought I'd say that, but you can link a lot of these tricks to an X-up ride. Same with the manual, same with the bunny hop. That's why they're so important, is because you can link different things together with that. You can bunny hop barspin, bunny hop tail, bunny hop 360, manual 180, manual feeble, manual ice. You know, there's a bunch of different things you can do with all of those tricks. And the X-up ride is one of those. You can X-up ride to 180 and you can throw so many different things into it. I don't particularly love the trick, honestly, because it scares me and I'm not very good at it. I mean, I can do it, but I'm no wizard like Eddie Peraza. I just, my arms don't work like that. And then I'm in the X-up ride and it's just a terrible thing. But for a lot of new street riders, this is a fun trick you can learn in front of your house. You can learn in the driveway. You can learn almost anywhere. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to be rolling flat, and you're going to be able to pop the front wheel up. Do this by throwing your weight back and keeping your arms straight. You don't want to actually lift up the front wheel because then you can't get the X up. So throw your weight back, keep your arms straight, pop that front wheel up. Once the front wheel's popped up, X your arms around and make an X motion. Then set it back down. So your weight's going back forward. You're going to set it back down in that X motion. And then the most important thing is keeping your chest over the bars. So with your chest over the bars, you're going to be controlling it. And the reason you want your chest over the bars is that puts pressure on the front tire so that when you steer, it actually responds. If your weight's really far back, there's not much pressure on the front tire, so steering isn't going to make you go anywhere. So make sure you're leaning forward. Now, when you're ready to pop back into riding normal, you're going to throw your weight back again, pop the front wheel up and uncross your arms. It's a scary trick because you have to commit to the X-up, but it's also not that bad just because you don't crash very often. You know, you pop it up, you land in the X-up ride, you X-up ride a little, and then you're good. And then you get out of it, life's good. And this, like I said, you can do this with parking spaces, pop into it, see how many parking spaces you want to go, just like the manual. Again, this is another trick that requires a lot of practice. The biggest tip for you is keeping your chest over the bars. Keep your chest over the bars and keep your X'd, if that makes sense. Last thing I got for you is when you do it, loosen up your grip. So instead of holding your bars like this, loosen it up so it's just mostly your front fingers holding it. And this is going to allow you to cross the X up a lot more comfortably and a lot easier. So if you're struggling with that trick, try loosening up the grip and then see how that works. Trick number 4 is going to be the feeble grind. This is one of the first tricks that I learned, and I think a lot of people really want to learn how to feeble. So the feeble is one that you can link, again, you can link it together with pretty much all of the other tricks we just talked about. Imagine doing a manual to feeble to drop X-up ride, right? That'd be crazy. You can link this to anything, and it's just so easy and it's so simple that I don't see why you shouldn't be feebling after this video. Now, to be able to do this trick, you need to know how to bunny hop. You need to bunny hop high enough that your front tire can get on top of the ledge and that your back tire can get about halfway up on the ledge. Not being able to bunny hop is going to make it impossible to get your pegs on and actually do a grind. Now, a couple tips for doing the feeble and doing it good is think about what you're doing with your handlebars. So when you hop up on the ledge and you lock into that feeble, sometimes you might turn your bars to the right or turn them to the left. This is going to mess you up because your front tire is guiding you where you want to go. So when you turn it to the right, your bike is going to try, let's imagine you're grinding on the right side, you turn it to the right. Your bike's going to try and ride up on that ledge, and it's just not going to work because your pegs are on there. So what it's going to do is it's going to slide you off the side, and you're not going to get the locked in feeble that you're looking for. Same thing if you go the other way, your tire is just going to drive off the ledge and you're going to fall off the ledge. So you got to think about where that tire is. A lot of people look straight at it and keep it perfectly straight so that they know that they are locked into it. Another thing with your tires, when you hop onto the feeble, if you get it farther away from your back peg, it crooks out your bike. So your bike tweaks out and it's really hard for it to stay locked in. Try and keep your front tire as close as you can to the back tire. So like, let's say this is your bike all lined up, right? If you feeble, you move your front tire like this, okay? You don't want to have your front tire all the way over here because it tweaks it out like that. The last little piece of advice is when you're getting off the ledge, it's going to be really hard to throw tricks in there. So, and this is mostly because a lot of people kind of learn it the wrong way. If you hop into the feeble, you can just turn your wheel and fall off the ledge. But the best way to do it is to compress your body and pop off. If you learn this early on, you're going to be working into being able to feeble and actually throw tricks. So you're locked into the feeble, you're compressing your body, and then you're exploding your chest straight up, just like a bunny hop, to pop yourself off the ledge. That's going to help you out a lot. All right, trick number 5, the Barspin. I love this trick, and it probably should not even be in this video. This is I'd say it's more of a mid-level trick. However, I see a lot of beginner kids learning this trick kind of the wrong way, but they're still learning it nonetheless. This is a fun trick. This is one of my favorites. And again, you can link it to anything. You can bar to feeble, you can manual to feeble, you can 180 bar, you can 360. There's so much to do with it. So some of the most important tips that I have on the Barspin is to pinch your knees. When you're throwing the bars, lock your knees, keep your hips back and pinch them. This is going to give you enough clearance to toss the bars and get them tossed and get them spinning. Bar spin, okay? The second thing for you is to keep your chest forward. You want your chest over top of the bars so that you have more control of where they're going, and your knees being pinched keeps it from dipping over. The third thing with the bar spin is to make sure you have a solid bunny hop. You need to be able to hop a decent amount so that you have enough time to throw it, catch it, and land. If you're only getting a couple inches on the bunny hop, you're going to have to throw the bars 6,000 miles an hour to make it work. And that's pretty unlikely. So work on the hop. If you're struggling with the bars, ask yourself, hey, am I hopping high enough? If the answer is no, work on the hop before you work on the bars. You don't want to jump ahead of yourself. There's so much that goes into the actual technique of throwing and catching the bars that would have to be a whole separate video, so stay on the lookout for that. If you're really excited to get into BMX and start learning some tricks, check out Bike School. We have the full in-depth course that has all these different how-to videos, but the best part is access to the private Facebook group where you get interaction with me, Nick, and a bunch of other bike riders that can give you personalized feedback on your attempts. And that's the coolest thing, right? You post a 180 bar spin and you mess up somewhere. I can look at that and I can say, hey man, you didn't pinch your knees, right? That's going to help you. If you're serious about progressing, that's the best option for you. Otherwise, guys, have a great rest of your day and let me know in the comments how many of these tricks can you land. Can you land 5 out of 5, 1 out of 5? Where are you at with it? I'm really curious to know so I can make more content like this that helps you guys out. Thanks.